Bit of a background, guys. So the XZ Utils attack, this is an attack that's been going on for about 2 years. This has taken a lot of social engineering. This is an actual world-scaled attack that you probably didn't even read about. So funny enough, this was an attack on Linux, but a Microsoft developer found it. What I read about it is it's presumed to be a Korean hacker that socially engineered their way into an open source group and hid malicious software in XZ Utils. While many of you don't use XZ Utils directly, which is similar to like WinZip or any zip software, you do use it because of servers. Had this attack gone through, this would have affected the whole internet. Every one of you would have been affected, so it's pretty crazy. So here's the timeline. Let's go over it. So over a period of 2 years, an attacker using the name Jia Tan, and they believe that this Jia Tan's not actually this guy's name. It seemed like it was a South Korean attacker. It might actually be North Korean. Jia Tan worked as a diligent, effective contributor to the XZ compression library, eventually being granted commit access and maintainership. So this guy came in as like just some random dude into an open source repository and just started making small commits and worked his way up to be an admin, an actual maintainer owner of the repository. Chaotic World says it's got to be North. Maybe, man. Maybe. So using that access, they installed a very subtle, carefully hidden backdoor into libelzma. Okay, just so you guys know, this XZ Utils is part of a library used by OpenSSH. OpenSSH is Open Secure Shell. But so what OpenSSH, guys, this is a secure shell where you can tunnel into other Linux systems, okay? So the fact that this attack was done in a dependency that operates a secure tunnel shell into your system is not a good thing. So this guy was able to hide malicious code where a bunch of the people who wrote the tool thought the code was not malicious. So pretty much, guys, what he was attacking, he wasn't attacking like what you would think business systems would use. Business systems would use like Red Hat, Enterprise Linux. He didn't attack any of that. He attacked the free shit. He attacked the shit you guys would be downloading, okay? If you were into Linux. But see, even though you're like, oh, well, I'm a Windows person, it doesn't matter because a lot of the services you use actually use these operating systems. That backdoor watches for the attacker sending hidden commands at the start of an SSH session when someone's tunneling into another system, giving the attacker the ability to run an arbitrary command on the target system without logging in. Unauthenticated, targeted remote code execution. So that's level 10 out of 10 critical. So the attack was publicly disclosed on March 29, 2024, and appears to be the first serious known supply chain attack on widely used open source software. It marks a watershed moment in open source supply chain security, or even worse. Hi, after observing a few symptoms around libelzma, part of the XZ package on Debian, SID installations over the last few weeks, logins with SSH taking a lot of CPU Valgrind errors, I figured out the answer. The upstream XZ repository and XZ tarballs have been backdoored. At first, I thought this was a compromise of Debian's package, but it turns to be upstream. Compromise release of tarball. One portion of the backdoor is solely in the distributed tarballs. For those of you who don't know what a tarball is just a zip. Think of like a zip file, but it's for Linux instead of Windows. For easier reference, so for example, for some cars like in Ford, they're starting to use Linux-based systems to run their systems. They're going to deliver those Linux-based services as compressed, so they'll be delivered as tarballs, and then they get decompressed. Okay, well, here's the thing. So we're not going to go too much into this because there's a lot of shit going on, but Spagooter, I think, is going to like this. It looks like, and this is how I think it didn't get caught. It looks like this input stream is being chopped up bit by bit, dude. Like, I think what's happening is it's tunneling. It's like chopping up this input stream, kind of like what you're used to, a Spagooter, but it looks like it's sending this elsewhere. But yeah, it's chopping up the stream, dude. Boku said it's calling the beginning of a file, then storing it in null, and doing that several times. And I think what's happening is that where it's storing in null isn't actually null. I think that's tunneling to another server, and they're stealing data.